It is really easy for women to lose weight if they are not hungry while they're on a diet. So, I'm going to teach you in this live stream how women can actually completely eliminate hunger while you're on a diet to make it really freaking easy to lose weight, which is the only way you should lose weight. So, some context, I've helped thousands of women melt their body fat without counting calories or taking supplements 100% naturally. And our program is so effective that we guarantee results, or you get a full refund plus $2,000 cash back on top of the refund if it doesn't work. Spoiler alert, this works. That's why we can offer that guarantee, but I'm going to teach it to you here so you can do it without me. Or you want to join my full program later. I don't know. I'm just giving away the secrets here. So how do hunger hormones actually work for women, and how do you get them under control? So you have to realize that we have three neurological states. There's fight or flight, rest and digest, and freeze. Freeze is kind of like that very high form of fight or flight where you are just like paralyzed. And so that one doesn't really apply to what we're doing because you don't want to paralyze yourself in fear. You know, like the deer in the headlights, you see like a car coming, you're like, ah! Like, yeah, you probably don't want to eat then, but you also don't feel like doing anything else. But for rest and digest, that is when the hunger hormones would be released. So, what should you do if you want to get into fight or flight in a way where it doesn't mess up your cortisol and give you all the stress and make you get fatter and get inflammation? That is what you want to do. So, you actually want to strategically use your stimulants in order to trigger that fight or flight, but you don't want to do it chronically because that will lead to chronic inflammation. So what you do is you will have your stimulants at the same time 7 days a week, and ideally you want to have either a workout or caffeine. We're going to use caffeine as the example here because you don't want to have too much caffeine. If you were to have more than 100 milligrams of caffeine at a time, your chances for something called adrenal fatigue start going up higher and higher and higher. And they actually go up exponentially the more caffeine you have. If you're someone that can have a cup of coffee and go right to bed, that's not normal. You should get energy from caffeine. But more importantly, you should also eliminate hunger as soon as you have caffeine too. If you can just drink caffeine all day and it doesn't really affect you, then you're probably having too much caffeine. You're not actually sensitive to it, or you have adrenal fatigue. Adrenal fatigue just completely ruins your metabolism, makes you tired all the time. You wake up tired, you go to bed tired, all the day you have random bursts of energy. You'll suddenly get really energetic and then go down. You have caffeine just to feel like a normal person. And a lot of times caffeine just does nothing. Like you can have like a very high amount of caffeine, you actually get more tired because there's actually like adenosine. I wish I could draw it, but imagine there are receptors that will give you energy if the molecule can make it in it. When you are having adrenal fatigue, you don't feel any of the energy from caffeine, but you feel all of the crash because all of these receptors are all filled up. So since they're already filled up, the caffeine does nothing, but caffeine still has a crash, so all that happens is you can actually take a lot of caffeine and crash. So what you want to make sure you're doing is if you're trying to use caffeine to eliminate hunger, is you want to have no more than 100 milligrams of caffeine at a time. This is like less than a cup of coffee, or about a cup of coffee. Or if you're going to be doing like something that is caffeinated, you can have a carbonated soda water. The one that I used, this is like many years ago. It's called Bubbler, not Bubbly. Bubbly, I think, is disgusting, but you know you'd have to try them. Bubbler, BUBBLR, is a caffeinated one. It's 70 milligrams of caffeine. I would have that in the morning instead of breakfast. I'd eat that, or I'd just have that, and that was fine. So that was a really good way to do it, is having a stimulant, but you could do a cup of coffee. What my wife did when she lost 60 pounds in 2 months is she would have green tea as her liquid calories in the morning, and green tea is a natural appetite suppressant as well, and it has caffeine. So it was like a double duty. So she got the energy boost, and she would have it at the same time every single day during the times where she didn't want to eat. So she'd actually have it in between meals. So between like, normally she'd feel snacky. In order to get rid of the snack time, she'd drink a green tea. So that's an example of using a stimulant. You want to use under 100 milligrams of caffeine if you do that. Next, number 2 is meal timing. If you were to have your meals at random times and you're not having it at the same time 7 days a week, your hormonal system doesn't actually know when to release the hunger hormones. So what happens is you start eating breakfast some days, not the other days. You skip lunch some days, not the other days. You eat a big meal one day, small meal the next day. And if you're someone that notices that your energy is very different after meals, you're going to notice that when you are doing this, you are going to get really tired after meals, or you're going to get big and bloated. Other times you could eat a healthy food and get big and bloated, or get really tired after meals, or you can eat a garbage meal and then actually feel like you have more energy and you're like, what the heck is going on? What's happening is you are not making your hormonal system predict when you should have rest and digest and when you should have fight or flight. So you shouldn't chronically be in any state, but you want to make sure that you're triggering that rest and digest when you want to be hungry and when you want to be eating. So in between then is when you want to have nothing, or you want to have something that has no calories in it. So you can do carbonated soda water, works really well. You could do pickles, you could do cucumbers, you could have a veggie soup. I just put one on my profile, you could check it out. That one is essentially a 0-calorie soup you could have while fasting. So you can literally eat while you're fasting and you'll still lose weight. It's like the cheat code. I don't know how many women have lost over 50 pounds following my free advice, but that's part of it. You can click my name, you can go to my profile, you can find that soup there. The key, though, is to make it really, really, really consistent. Is you want to have your meal timings at the same time 7 days a week, ideally, especially if you're someone that has a problem with hunger, because you don't want your body to predict to be hungry constantly. Because if you eat meals like every 2 hours, your body is expecting to eat a meal every 2 hours. And if you're someone that has like insulin resistance or hunger problems, you are thinking about food constantly. And if you, as that 2 hours approaches, your mind is just getting obsessively thinking about all of that food. So you don't want to have that. You don't want to be hungry. You want to eliminate that hunger, so you want to have something that will trigger that. So meal timing is really important. Number 3 is the food that you have should always have something that is a nutrient-dense food. Nutrient-dense foods are the most important thing you can put inside of your diet, because nutrient-dense foods will eliminate the cravings. If you don't want to have cravings, you've got to have a nutrient-dense food inside of your meals. It doesn't have to be all nutrient-dense food. You just have to have a nutrient-dense food. I actually have a list of the top 50 that have worked for our clients over the years. I just put a list together. It's in a link here. Hopefully I popped it up on the screen. If not, I will do it again right here. There it is. You can click that link, put in your name, put in your email address, and I'll send that to you. You just grab one of these foods, you put them into each one of your meals, and there's really surprising things in there, like pork belly. Like, what the heck? That doesn't seem like something that could help you lose weight, but the thing is that you have to test it. You have to figure out what works for you specifically. And, we've had women lose weight eating mashed potatoes. Like, what the heck? It's like the most random one that you could possibly think of. But then again, we've had other women gain weight because they had pineapple in their diet, and they had some type of inflammatory response. The only way to know what foods will work for you is to test it, but if you grab that list, it'll be a really easy way to find which foods you should add to each one of your diets, and you can test it out a lot more rapidly. Next is if you want to physically move in between eating, that will help to eliminate hunger, because that will naturally trigger the fight or flight, but it will also metabolize stress hormones. So one of the problems with triggering fight or flight and not doing anything is you're anxious at a different speed. It doesn't really help. It's like you have a bunch of caffeine and then you're just sitting there like listening to a song or something. You're not really doing anything. It doesn't help your system at all. You really want to have it, and then you want to start moving. So ideally you do something like a walk outside is ideal, or you could do something like a rebounder is one of the best things we found for women. A rebounder is just a mini trampoline. You could jump on that in between your meals in order to eliminate hunger. Plus, it just puts you in a good mood. I don't know about you, but like, I'll just do it right now. Like, I've never been in a bad mood and then like jumped up and down and was also angry. I've never been like, oh, I'm so mad. Yeah, it just can't happen. I'm pretty sure sitting on a rebounder just instantly puts everyone in a better mood. So highly recommend that. Not only is it good for a good mood, it can also eliminate hunger. One of the questions I get pretty often is, does a vibration plate work? No, a vibration plate wouldn't work because it's not in activity. You're just sitting there getting jiggled. Getting jiggled doesn't as much as I'd love to say that is going to eliminate hunger, you could jiggle the hunger out of you. That doesn't work. But if you use the vibration plate in the right way, it will. Once again, I have another free video on my profile. You can click my name and look for how to use the vibration plate in the best possible way. Essentially, you want to do a form. You want to activate something called the muscle pump by doing calf raises as you're on it, and you want to make sure the vibration plate is moving the right way. So if that doesn't make sense, just click my name, go to my profile, and you can find the video on the vibration plate. That one could also work in between meals. And then the last thing I want to talk about with hunger is that unless you'd be willing to eat boiled chicken and lettuce, which means there's no flavor, unless you're willing to eat that, you probably aren't experiencing true hunger. And what is likely happening is just some type of hormonal imbalance. So what will happen is stress, hormonal stress, will cause the cravings. And then in order to alleviate the hormonal stress, it makes you crave foods that are high in salt, sugar, and fat. So it's not that you're hungry. It is that you are trying to alleviate that upstream problem of having to metabolize stress hormones. I have a whole nother live stream talking about cortisol for women. It was my last one. You can click my name, you can go to my profile, and you can check that one out. But remember that women that aren't stressed don't stress eat. So if you're having those cravings, a lot of times it's not the diet that's the problem, or the exercise or anything. It's just that you don't have a consistent routine for metabolizing those stress hormones. And that is extremely important if you want to actually reach your goals. Because when you're losing weight, you have to realize that the easy way to lose weight is the only way you should lose weight. Because if you are losing weight the hard way, it is going to be hard to maintain. That is exactly why I run a health and life coaching program for women where we guarantee results, and why our program is 1 year long is because we have to make sure that you go through hard things inside your life, and we can teach you how to be successful and how to make it easy when your life is hard. Because we are not going to make your life easier. Your life's going to keep getting harder, but we can make you strong enough to handle whatever life throws your way, get you hormonally balanced naturally so you melt the body fat without counting calories, 100% guaranteed. If you're interested in my full coaching program, you can message me or comment info, and I can reach out and we can see if you're a good fit. But what you should do from here is pick up that top 50 list of nutrient-dense foods, add those to your meals, eliminate hunger, melt body fat a whole lot easier. And if you need anything else, let me know. Let me know if you want to keep seeing these live streams. Everyone seems to be liking them so far. Just let me know inside the comments. And hope you have a great rest of your day. Love you all. Thanks for watching.